Hey, what's up everybody? This is Remedy X here, and I am just bringing you some Medal of Honor gameplay, sector control on something town. I actually don't know the name of this map, but I do enjoy the map, and anyways, I go 16-1 at the end of this game. I actually thought I went flawless, but at the end it showed 16-1, and I was like, wait, what just happened? And I had to go rewatch my gameplay and find out, oh, I actually did die once in the game, which is, upsetting, but it's not a big deal. Like, I died right at the very beginning, and like I think halfway to 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, oh, did I die once? Maybe I can pull off a flawless, but yeah. So, but it doesn't really matter because 16-1 is still like really good, and it's pretty decent gameplay, so that's pretty cool. But this is actually going to be a story time, and this story time actually doesn't have to do with me. It actually has to do with my friend, but I'm involved in it. Oh, yep, there's my first death and my only death in the entire game. But I'm not going to reveal their names. I mean, I could just say their first names, but I'm not going to anyways, because I want to call them Bungholio and Miss Ballsack. And Bungholio is my friend, and then Miss Ballsack is the girl. So, Bungholio and Miss Ballsack met up at a party, and I mean, I was invited to the party, but I couldn't go. But he said it wasn't that cool. He just met up with a girl, and I mean, they exchanged numbers, they hooked up, and everything's cool. Now, to me, I did not think this girl was pretty or hot. Like, I mean, she wasn't like ugly, but I mean, she wasn't pretty or hot. And I mean, I understand, and I didn't like tell that to him, being like, "Wow, you're dating an ugly girl," because it's your choice, man. And he liked her, and I understand that the more you like a girl, the more they seem to be like hotter to you, and that's why two knife fails right there. Sorry. Anyways, they seem to be like hotter and prettier to you, and I completely understand that, and that's why I was totally okay with it. You go for it, man. It's totally cool. So, pretty much what happened is that as we got more comfortable, like me, when I was kind of like a third wheel sort of, but I had no intention of like dating or anything. I was just kind of there. I never like hung out with them, but I was kind of like the middleman between them. Like, they'd talk to me, one person would talk to me, and then the other one person would talk to me, and then we kind of switch off, and they just all both keep talking to me, and I don't know why I was involved in this, but I guess I was. So as I got more comfortable with them, or Miss Ballsack more specifically, she would start telling me what they would do. And I was like, whatever, but I realized it was actually really funny because these things they did were like, it wasn't just like, we went over, did this, yada yada, like sex, yada yada. They never had sex, but I mean, like, they did sexual stuff, but like yada yada yada. It was like they would tell me like specifics and details and like the weird stuff they did. They did some really weird stuff. I'll actually tell you the weirdest and grossest thing they did, and that was so she came home and she got online and she's like, hey, what's up, yada yada yada. So I gave him a handy today. I'm like, no BJ, and I'm like just messing with her, and she's like, no, but oh, I did taste the semen though, and I'm like, wait a minute. How can you give a BJ but not taste the semen? And then how could you not give him BJ but taste the semen? And she's like, well, I kind of made him come into a cup, and then she drank it. And I'm gonna gag, I swear. That's so gross. Like, why would anybody want to do that? But don't worry, the story's not over. It goes on. Then I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, and I'm just trying to not be totally like, oh, that is sick and wrong, and I just want to like, oh, I'm gonna puke. Then she goes on to tell me that he got some too. I'm like, what he drank? Ew, what he? And she's like, no, don't worry, he didn't drink any of that. I just kind of, did my own thing to a cup, and he drank that. I'm like, what? And I was like, no more, whatever. So yeah, that was pretty much the grossest thing they did with each other. Now, she also, as we even got more comfortable with each other, she started telling me the weird stuff she did with other guys. And like the story I said before with my crazy bitch, that she was 13 and she had sex with an 18-year-old, or 17, I forgot what it was. She actually had sex when she was 13 as well with a 16-year-old. You know, whatever. You know, it's usually those kind of girls that are the weird ones. But so she she started telling me about her first time, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, what's about your first time? What's so different from it? So she was telling me it was on a couch, you know, cool, normal stuff. And then she tells me when I was born, she was born with a hymen, I forgot how to pronounce it, that was extra thick. And first of all, I didn't need to know that. Like, just telling you, I did not need to know that at all. But she told me that, and I'm like, that is interesting. So, she went on to tell me, so when he broke it, she bled. A lot. Like, all over, like, him. And I'm like, oh, that is so gross. And I was laughing when I said that. That's so weird. And I mean, oh my god, I was gonna be. That's just sickening. But don't worry, the story is not over yet. So she also goes to tell me that when she bled, he actually thought it was hot and actually made him hornier than he was before. So she decided to rub her bloody vagina on his body. Like, rub it with. No, I can't even go any further. That is gross. That is sickening, wrong, and gross. And I was like, no, that is not hot at all. That is blood, and you're just rubbing on him to turn him on. And I was, and these stories went on. That wasn't the only story. And these stories went on and on and on about guys she had sex with or guys she did stuff with. And I mean, and now when I tell you this, you guys are like, wow, that is the biggest skank I've ever heard. And I'm like, yeah, she's not. And you'll be like, what do you mean? Yeah, she is. She totally is, And I tell her all this stuff about what she did with guys and stuff and how gross she is and weird. But she is messed up in the head. And the thing is that she came to me crying one time. And I'm like, what's wrong and stuff? And she's like, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong? And so she pretty much explained the whole thing to me, is that she really never wanted to start. I mean, sexual stuff is fun, she told me, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. But she said she really never wanted to start. She just thought she was extremely ugly, and she's had some tough times, and that the only reason she does this stuff is because it's the only way guys will like her or ever want to be with her. And I mean, that's why I feel bad, but I don't also, because I felt bad for her because she told me that, and I was like, oh no, I can't believe I was laughing and thought this was funny, even though it is funny, and it still is, actually, even after what she told me. And the reason why is she's a skank. You know what? Even though she told me that, she's a skank. I know, I felt bad, but she's a skank. And she is not only messed up in the head. No, she's just messed up in the head. I don't know how to explain it any better than, I can't even wrap my mind around what goes through her mind. Because after she told me that, and they went out for a while, she did something that just crossed the line, and I don't feel bad for her anymore. And I would tell you now, and I know there's more gameplay left in the video, but I'm gonna leave you hanging. So I hope you all enjoy the gameplay, and until next time, I hope you all rate, comment, and subscribe.